Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Two Up and Two Down. Today we've got a season 6 episode, and it is The Doorman. So, Tony, let's start with you. What do you got for your first up?
Doorman, 2 up, 2 down. Got to find 2 ups and 2 downs. Gamble and Pros. This is a season 6 episode. I got an up here. I want to throw off the bat. Always love friends of the show. Patrick Cronin, Sid Farkas, hell of a scene. You're not beating summer nights.
You're getting intimate with a woman. You don't want her fumbling and stumbling back there. And so we all started to laugh, which seemed right. And that was in rehearsal. But when we did it live, and this is something as an actor, as a guest actor, you just never do. But I was on a roll and I did something I shouldn't have done. And we're in the laughter. I just had this thought of what a great time Sid might have had one night. And I ad-libbed summer nights. And I was afraid of, since it was an ad-lib, Kramer went, "That's very funny." If you watch him in the scene, right. he wasn't expecting it.
Right.
And he just said, "That's very funny." And I thought, oh shit, they're going to cut the scene. It was going great.
Ad-lib the scene, as we found out talking to him. Great scene with Frank and Kramer and him just talking, chit chat, and having a great time. Like 2 guys will, 3 guys will. The balls on him to ask Frank about Estelle right there in the spot. It's insane. And Frank just goes off. I love it. It's just, there appears to be some jiggly, and what do we call it? Dead in band line, on and on. The fact that they brought him back is just incredible. He ultimately delivers a great scene. That's my first up is Sid Farkas.
Yeah, good one there, Tony. Love Sid. So, let's go over to Chris now. What do you got for your first up?
Incredible job by Pat Cronin there. To bring him back, to your point, sometimes they bring people back, it kind of fizzles. Nah, he brought it. I got a lot of ups. I just like that the opening scene with Larry Miller. It kind of just set the tone. I like when the tone is set early on, and it kind of shows you what you're going to get. And boy, obviously Larry Miller, we know the history there. He's great friends with Jerry. You could tell there was good chemistry there. He almost got the role of George. But I loved him saying, "You the boyfriend? Here for a quickie?" Like, and then obviously the whole, how about those Knicks thing, the whole thing, remarkable. And then Larry Miller obviously went on throughout the episode. But that opening scene, "You the boyfriend, here for a quickie," loved it. Set the tone for the whole episode, like I said. And just a remarkable one-time guest star Larry Miller was. And he was the doorman. I think you can't put it any other way. So that's my first up.
Yeah, good one there. Larry Miller as a doorman, of course. So good one. Tony, back to you. What do you got for your second up?
Yeah, could not agree more. Larry Miller delivers so many ups there. You could take the whole thing if you want. Just so much there. Poor doorman has to work 2 jobs to put food on the table for mother and child. I mean, everything the guy says is amazing. The Knicks, everything. Loved it. I loved him. I'm going to go where you might not think I'm going to go on my second up. I liked Pitt. I know it was a small part of Pitt, but namely the Jerry answering the phone. I like when they show Pitt as like the authority, and Elaine's working for him, and I can't go. She's all upset, and Jerry is, "Hi, Mr. Pitt," all excited. Especially, "You can't have parties when I'm not there." I always love that dynamic. It shows that they're still kids at heart, which is what we love about the show. And I love when Elaine gets dragged down into that, and she just, she feels so bad she can't go out. She's reading through the mail and everything like that. Listen, it's kind of an Elaine up in a way too, but I'm going to tie just that one scene really, and just the fact that Elaine's still working for Pitt. I don't mind this Pitt. I don't like when Pitt gets a little too rambunctious with everything, and Thanksgiving Day parade and all that jazz. But I thought in this little scene worked out well. I mean, most of the episode takes place in his apartment, but he doesn't. He's not at the forefront, but he's there enough. And I love that Elaine dynamic. It's really just Jerry answering the phone too. Hi, Mr. Pitt. Always gets me every time. That's my second up.
Well, thank you, Tony. Yeah, Mr. Pitt there. So that's 3 guest stars already for our ups. Chris, what's your second up? Is it another guest star?
Nobody's falling for that he likes Mr. Pitt. So I don't know what's going on tonight. We know, Tony, where would he thinks of Pitt? Guest stars, yeah. Again, I don't consider Estelle a guest star, but man, the whole transvestite parties turns into J. Edgar Hoover, and then obviously you're going out with a bra salesman and he only sells them, he doesn't wear them. I mean, incredible line. Estelle and Frank, I'm using Estelle here, but they were just remarkable. This, we know this was season 6. We know Sharon's is gone. We get all that, but we don't really get Estelle and Frank till season 5 and on. And Estelle obviously was the first to hop on board in season 4, but she was just as strong here in season 6. So for me, Estelle, the whole transvestite parties, and obviously when she caught them, her husband and Kramer doing the dance. I mean, how do you not laugh at that? So Estelle's my second up for the Doorman.
All right, yeah, great pick there. So those are the ups. Tony, we're going to go back to you. What do you have for your first down?
Yeah, and my favorite Estelle line you didn't mention is, you want to know if your grandmother's bosomy? She shouted at George. Incredible. I agree, Estelle. She was one of my ups. I wrote it down along with the ones I gave. Listen, downs. My first down, and I can kind of go either way with it, but the rewatch again, I'm sticking with the down on this one. Elaine with Jerry going over the story, she gets all like fast talking, detective movie type of talking. Like, here's what you're gonna do: fix me a drink at the end of it, all that kind of stuff. You go over there, you do this, you tell them this, that whole thing. You came to pick me up, and no one's gonna believe the doorman. She does that whole talking fast thing, like she's the big boss and Jerry, and coming up with the getting them out of the predicament they're in with the couch getting stolen. I don't know. I know what they were doing. I just don't love it, and I'm looking for downs. That's my first down. It's that little scene there where Elaine's coming up with the plan and talking fast, and at the end, fix me a drink. They throw that in there to make it fun. I get it, and people are probably in the comments. They were supposed to do that. It was supposed to be that. I get it. I didn't like it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's my down.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Tony. Chris, over to you. What is your first down?
Yeah, I didn't mind that as much, but I knew he wouldn't. I know Tony would like that, But here's some things just to get nitpicky, and again, a lot of this, to your point, does center around Elaine and Jerry. But Elaine, they're going to the movies. Why does Jerry have to pick her up? Just meet at the movie theater. I get, because why? Because the doorman wouldn't be there. Da, 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 da. So, but to me, I don't know. Stuff should be organic the way it works, and that just 2 times in a row. Can we go to a later movie? That doorman, you're gonna change your whole life because of the doorman. I get it. He did needle him and the whole thing, but never like that. So for me, that's my first down. I have a little more on it, but I'm gonna hold back because I know there's not a lot of downs here. So, but the Elaine picking me up thing, first down.
All right. We'll revisit. And Tony, what's your second down here?
My second down is also kind of a small throwaway nitpick thing, but from day one, this bothered me, and it continues to bother me whenever you watch. And so I got to use it. When Jerry becomes the doorman, and that old guy walks in, and Jerry's like, "Hey, you live here?" The guy's like, "Of course I live here. I live for 20 years. You don't let me in, I'm going to call the police." So dumb. The guy's not calling the police on Jerry. Come on. I hate that guy. I hate his delivery. Talks too fast. Just throws that. I'll call the police. You don't let me in. It's so. It's just. I don't know. I can do without it. I mean, I just didn't like it. Never did. Never will. It's a silly down, but that guy irks me. I don't like his delivery. Um, he just jumped right to calling the police. Jerry didn't even do it. He just asked, "Do you live here?" And Jerry's supposed to believe the guy. The whole thing is just stupid. Like it's just they had to give Jerry something to do as the doorman. Um, I don't know. I don't know why that's my down, but it is. I don't enjoy that guy. I never did. That's my down.
All right. Well, thanks, Tony, for pointing that out. And Chris, back to you. What do you got for your second down?
Clearly, Tony has not been in these exclusive buildings where the stuff happens. Yeah, no, I'm with that guy. Jerry should know. I'll call the cops on him too. And yeah, listen, I got a couple downs here. Actually, I didn't like the Mr. Pitt calling Elaine, going through the mail. Like, just I don't know. So they didn't go to the movie because of that. That's it down. But I won't use that. This is another one. The German tourist thing with Kramer, like running after him. And I think they had it was like a montage with music. Like it was a little much.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed him, like just quick in the beginning, like Kramer beating up George for a couple minutes. That was fine, haha. But to go back to it, and them running after Kramer, and then I don't know. I guess that tied together the bra thing, but it was a little much. I had enough of the bro in the man's ear. I think it was just enough that we didn't have to overdo it with these German tourists, because then it never really tied back to that. But so for me, that was just a little much. So that's my second down for the doorman.
All right. Thank you, guys. So that wraps up the 2 ups and 2 downs. Tony, back to you. Let's do the grades. What do you got here?
Yeah, I actually agree with how I wrote that down. Is the tourist going after Kramer? He shows him the bro man's ear at the end. I didn't like that either. I also didn't like Poppy coming back at the end. That's another one that was unnecessarily and a little bit silly. If you ask me, bring back Poppy. What's he doing? Sit down. Get the digestive problem. Listen, I've been given a lot of ups. I think Larry Miller. I think season 6 is one of those seasons where it's a change, right? No more Larry Charles, no more Sharonis. But the guest stars in season 6, you got Jimmy and you got this guy, Larry Miller. I think they're 2 heavy hitter guest stars. They're not. I mean, they carry both episodes. I think O'Hara with his up nailed it. Larry Miller delivers all that conversation stuff with his good time buddies, and on the corner when Jerry sees him later on. You work here too. Oh, I see. The doorman has to work too, Joe. Everything he does is just incredible. Really got a soft spot for this episode. O'Hara mentioned the parents. I'm an Estelle Frank guy. I agree with O'Hara. They deliver in this episode big time, especially Estelle. Farkas scene is a killer scene. I mentioned it earlier. This is one of the best season 6 episodes. I would probably put it top 3 season 6. I really want to go. I have 2 grades written down. I'm going back and forth with it. I think, I did give Pitt an up, but O'Hara's right. It might have been a little bit of charity. It's not a lot. Jerry's not a lot. The doorman's more of the scene than more of the call than Jerry is. So I got to be fair here. B+ for the doorman. Very close to giving it an A-. I kind of want to give it an A-, but I got to leave myself some room with season 6. There's a couple of seasons episodes I put above this. Not many. They're going to make probably A range if I think about it down the line. B+ for the doorman. I think it's fair. I do love this episode, though. I like this episode a lot. That's my grade. B+ for the doorman.
All right. Well, thanks, Tony. Yeah, I think that's a solid grade for this episode. So I'm interested to hear from Chris. What do you got for a grade?
Yeah, this is a smart episode. Okay, Larry Miller. We mentioned it. You mentioned Poppy. I didn't mind Poppy. I thought he put a nice bow on the episode, and it's not like bringing back what's his name, like Littman for the Muffin Tops. It was just quick, boom, bam. It tied in some other great lines that I think about. You had me sleeping on a pea-stained couch. I mean, Frank brought it. Estelle brought it. Jerry with the doorman hat, of course. Farkas, all-timer. George, doing his thing. It was interesting. We didn't talk about George a lot this episode. He was kind of the in-between. The boob stuff, I don't know. I didn't completely love that, but it was good, solid fun. The Pride and Power poster I always loved in George's room, the Yankees. I mean, I want to make that a full up.
I had that poster.
Yeah, I mean, you had that poster. It's incredible. Just really clean. And I'm nitpicking, like, why would Jerry even be responsible for the couch? Listen, folks, at the end of the day, funny's funny. Yeah, I'm nitpicking some of the stuff, but it didn't bring down the episode. This is season 6. It felt like, 3 through 5 is what I'm trying to tell you here. Gamble and Pros, I'm giving the Doorman an A-. I think
You go higher than me. God damn.
I'm going higher. I
just fucking gave it an A-. Now I'm pissed.
So you made incredible points with Larry Miller as that anchor, with the parents at all cylinders, and Kramer with the bro. I mean, Elaine they were all really kind of working on all cylinders. No one brought it down. And then obviously, like I said, the guest stars really shined. And when they really shine, all 4 are doing great. It's A territory. So A- for the Doorman.
All right, thank you, Chris. So that's a B+ and A-. So that's definitely worth a check out of this episode if you're new to Seinfeld. And thank you guys for your ups and downs and your final thoughts there. So thank you guys for all viewing our episode here, and we'll see you on the next one.